kill him, coming in the custom. Loyalty, respect, a legend. They never kill him, coming in the air.
Welcome to episode 95 of Ring Takes. Here I'm joined by Brian and Lewis, and I have sold out, guys. I have sold my soul. If you guys haven't figured that out, I am now Team Hollywood. I have joined The Rock. I have joined the new corporation. I have joined John Cena and The Rock. I'm going to Hollywood, guys. I sold out. Welcome, guys. We are here. It has finally happened. This is a new era of wrestling, something that has never happened before. Of course, I'm talking about.
Has it not happened before? I'm pretty sure it has.
I mean,
well, we haven't gotten something monumental like this in over 20 to 30 years. So yes.
I mean, the last time John Cena turned heel was like 2003. So
he just was heel.
We're like 22, 23 years removed from John Cena turning heel. But obviously that happened past Saturday at Elimination Chamber. One of the biggest swerves of all time, right? That's up there with Hogan turning on the NWO, probably Seth turning on the Shield, all the times Ric Flair stabbed Sting in the back in WCW. But, of course, let's talk about it. What the fuck? John Cena turns heel at the Elimination Chamber after a grueling match in the Elimination Chamber, which was an awesome match, I thought. A lot of guys got all their stuff in, heavy hitters in the match, but John Cena outlasted us. What do you guys think about the match? What do you guys think about the heel turn from John Cena? This is just monumental. What are your guys' thoughts?
All right, right off the bat, first thing I want to do this is for Triple H. Everybody, I mean, a lot of fans, and including some of us, you know, we all kind of got a little the current road to WrestleMania, that it wasn't exciting enough, and that the build towards Elimination Chamber was a little bit lackluster. And then, you know, Triple H kind of surprised the hell out of everybody with this. I mean, this is something that nobody ever saw coming. I know Daniel kind of predicted it, and it is all over social media right now. There are a lot of I do want to tell you, Daniel, there are a lot of fans out there who can't believe that you kind of predicted that on the Twitter page. Just want to give you a heads up. Yeah, so nobody ever saw this coming. I mean, the fact that I saw a stat for how long John Cena has been a babyface, I think it's like what 2003, 2002 till now. With 22 years of being that top guy. The actual turn itself, and the funny thing is when you look back on it now, like they have been throwing out subliminals this entire time that this was happening, and everybody just either ignored it or just couldn't see it. And it started with the press conference promo that he cut. And then you saw like bits and pieces in the match. Like, when have you ever seen John Cena, you know, take advantage of a situation where somebody attacks his opponent? Normally he would look at it and say in a typical Captain America fashion, like, no, I don't want to win that way. So you see little things like that. I knew something was up after he won. That Cody Rhodes came out immediately after. Like, I knew that something crazy was going to happen. They immediately went right into the segment with him and Rock. Obviously Cody's delivery that kind of like set the whole tone for the segment. It was the perfect response. And then as soon as
stop it.
Yeah. So direct. Yeah, it's trying to show where WWE is these days compared to the other days. But you know, as soon as that his face changed, and then the cameras, you know, cut to Rock's hand signal, it was just like, no way. 22 years after all this time, and it's unbelievable. And it's like, I think I talked about this on another podcast. I think I talked about how like my god brother and my brother, they kind of grew up with Rock and John Cena. They could tell you how it was when Stone Cold debuted as ringmaster all the way up to his whole career. They can tell you about, you know, Rocky Maivia, you know, The Rock when he was Rocky Maivia, building all the way up to what he was, The Rock. We can say the same thing about John Cena. I mean, pretty much John Cena debuted when we were all like 12, 13 years old. Yeah, when he, or even before that, in OVW when he was
Prototype.
prototype. First he's challenging Kurt Angle. Then he's wearing the whole attire of the colors of the city that he's in, and almost got fired. Then he became Doctor of Thugonomics. Then he became Super Cena, and then you just never thought that there would ever be a day for him to turn heel, because they had opportunities in the past under the old administration and
plethora of opportunities.
And whether it was money or with the Make-A-Wish Foundation or the fact that they didn't build anybody up to fill in the void, they just wouldn't do it. They tried to build Roman Reigns up to fill in the void, and you've seen how that went. He didn't officially fill that void until this past year at SummerSlam when he came out and got that monster pop. So from everything from when Cody came out to the very end, you've never seen John Cena look that vicious before. Like that mean streak in John Cena, you've never. I think the last time I saw it, I think it was on the episode of Raw, if I remember correctly. I think like he was in that remember that feud he had with Kane, that whole respect the hate feud or whatever it was, and like he had a match with Jack Swagger and he beat the living piss out of him. And right after Kane then came on the Titantron and said, "Yeah, Cena, that's what I want. That's what I'm getting at. You will embrace the hate." So you
mean Kane and Bray Wyatt were right this whole time?
Bray Wyatt was right this entire time. I mean that now that Firefly Funhouse match means something now. Now you can actually go back and like watch it. Like he said it from jump that like this was always in John Cena, but
we didn't see it coming. He warned us.
Yeah, he warned us we didn't see it coming. I know we're gonna get into like Monday Night Raw's whole coverage of it, but all those promo packages breaking down everybody's reaction from all the international commentators, their reaction to all the streamers, grown ass men crying in front of their TVs about it. Like just the fact that this whole thing was on it was a video on ESPN. It was a segment on ESPN First Take. Like it's like that's how monumental this thing was. But as far as the actual turn itself, the delivery and everything leading up to it, it was perfect. You didn't see it coming, and with John Cena being a heel opens up a whole bunch of booking possibilities that for this year that's going to be very interesting to watch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to eat my words. I didn't think it would happen, and you know what? This is why I love wrestling, because, and maybe it's just the era we're in, where maybe we're so used to like, oh, we know what's gonna happen, or I can predict this, I can predict that. This was one that I didn't think they were gonna do it. I'm like, the man is nearing the end of his career. And you're gonna pull this dark trigger, this dark cloud, and the evilness on all these little kids. And you know what? It did what it was supposed to do. Sent shockwaves throughout the entire world. Literally everybody and their mother and child is talking about it, reacting to it. And up until that moment, even when Cena was staring at Rock, I was still like, I thought either like Cena was going to go after Rock or Cena was going to do something else. I did not.
You just couldn't believe it, Lewis. You just couldn't.
I'm with him. I didn't either.
The second I saw Rock do this, I'm like, he's doing it. But you know what? In my mind, I think I was like, not trying to like, no, this doesn't make sense. It's just like, I think how big their feud was, and the whole story of like Rock going Hollywood, coming back being a part-timer, seeing him giving him so much crap, like I'm here every day, I love this. It's like, how do you get to the point of like,
arguably, John Cena became The Rock.
It's true. He did become Rock, and I think it's like crazy that like, no, we're on the same page now, like. And I've seen stuff where people like, oh, Rock's been dropping hints, putting up the 3, blah blah blah, this, or even when he came out and did this. I don't think it's so much.
There was no indication that The Rock was going to get John Cena. There was no indication.
There was no. I think the slightest indication was John Cena claiming himself as just being in the Elimination Chamber.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
he's
yeah.
never done anything like that. Even though it makes complete sense that he's like, hey, you know what? I have earned my spot. I have earned the right to just put myself in this match. Mind you, he is older. He is in a position where, you know, hey, I'm probably not as limber as I was to wrestle as much as I want to, you know, but I think that was probably the one hint where you're like, this is not regular Cena. He would never not qualify for a match or never just like, yeah, let me get a number one contender. He's always been like, I'm not trying to take somebody else's spot. But that's literally what he did to get into this match, you know. But you know, from watching little kids crying at the TV to everything, it's just like, this is what it's all about. And then I think this is what we all want, where we're like, we don't know. And we want to literally to the last second be like, what the hell is going on? You know, so kudos to, like Brian did, you know, kudos to Triple H, like that this is storytelling. And yeah, this basically just reignited Mania, because it's like, what is going to be the reasoning? What is, you know, what is this heel Cena even going to look like? You know, obviously he's not going to be a doctor of thugonomics. It's like, what is he actually going to be like? Like, it's going to be so crazy to hear him talk in this manner. You know? And I hope it works. I hope we don't get like a Trish heel in her age, like cringy, which I know I don't want to expect that out of Cena, but I'm like, this is all just, not that it's new territory, but it's just been so long that what does this even look like?
It's uncharted territory. But as Bernie Mac said on the Bernie Mac show in his comedies, fuck them kids, all right? Fuck them kids, all right? It's about time. This needed to happen. I said it last week, for the betterment of the industry, that this needed to happen. This needed to happen. It was the rite of passage that it just needed to happen. John Cena needed to turn heel.
He's been healed before. That
was in 2003,
22 years ago.
But he did not turn heel. He was.
And you want to know what another thing before I get off my rant? Those kids crying at the TV, they didn't grow up with Cena like we did.
That's very true.
What are they crying for?
Exactly.
What are they crying for?
Maybe their parents.
Before you go into your rant, Daniel, some of these kids wearing the Cena memorabilia like 6 or 7 years old. I'm like, you guys didn't grow up with this, man.
Maybe
you guys didn't see the crime.
Unless they
were
Cody
did a good job and showed them old Cena promos, old Cena matches, and they're like, this is the greatest.
Y'all weren't around for this. Like, what are y'all doing?
Maybe they give him a crash course on the Cena's career, and they're like, this is who you're cheering for.
They showed them WWE Vault and just went through the John Cena matches, just drilled it into their heads.
Like, Cody Rhodes is your guy right now. That's your guy.
As I said, unless they're Cody crybabies and that's why they're crying, because Cody was the guy and he got his ass kicked. Unless that's it. Other than that, I don't want to see kids crying. You guys didn't grow up with John Cena. You guys are growing up with Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes and
not even. They're literally just growing up with Cody.
Yeah, like I mean, both like re-entering. I can understand why they would cry for Cody over John Cena. Like, I don't want to see kids crying on the TV. Like, I don't want to see that. Like, no, you guys didn't grow up with Cena. So out of that, overall, I predicted that Cena was going to turn heel. I did pick CM Punk to win the Chamber, but I was like, if Cena won, this is how it was going to go. But
nope.
to get this heel turn, I wasn't in a state of shock, like this is unbelievable, I can't believe it. It was just gratification because it's finally happening. I was so excited for that part of it because I'm like, this can go in so many different directions. John Cena has been a babyface all the time with these passionate promos about being and getting it done, hustle, loyalty, respect, fighting through for 20 years. And there's always been this undercover that, hey, we can see a different side of Cena. It's in there. We know it's in there. Turn him heel. There were so many times when he could have turned heel and helped a lot of guys get over. And he didn't because whatever Vince booking and the Make-A-Wish and they wanted to be a babyface. We're in a different era now where John Cena necessarily isn't needed. He isn't needed. So how do you give back and make him that valuable? You turn him heel. And this was just tremendous, even though I don't like The Rock's promos and stuff like that leading up to this and his act and all this stuff. I understand his role in terms of playing like Vince, the corporate leader, boss, final boss, whatever you want to call him. That's cool. His promos suck. Outside of all of that, John Cena turning heel and joining him, I'm with it. It makes perfect sense. Both these guys have been in Hollywood. Both these guys are part-timers. John Cena arguably turned into The Rock at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Cody Rhodes has come in and gotten all this good favor and all this love from the fans and admiration. You're taking away John Cena's fans when you do that. I like that. It makes perfect sense from that standpoint. And as for the Elimination Chamber match, I thought it was awesome. Seth Rollins and CM Punk going at it was awesome. Of course, we're going to talk about that later in the show when we get into Raw. But just the fact of Cena winning this thing, inserting himself into the match, winning this thing, and this has happened before where they put guys in the match as a token, like, hey, this is his last run, XYZ. That has happened before. But to do it in this manner, for it to get the heel turn, is just amazing. And I'm loving every minute of it because it's ushering a new era. And if this is John Cena's final run, which he's supposed to be retiring in December, I say they should extend that to WrestleMania, but that's just me.
I thought the same, honestly.
Like that whole retirement thing
at a Mania, you know.
Yeah, he has to go. He has to carry the title whenever he wins it. If he wins it at Mania, which he should, in my opinion, he should carry it into next year's Mania.
You're not the only one on that.
Yeah, like he should. That's where he should drop it.
No. If you're gonna capitalize on this monumental moment, you see how big this shit was. If you're gonna capitalize on it, he needs to win at WrestleMania. You can't have him lose. You immediately kill it if he loses.
Just gonna have Travis Scott out here slapping everyone, and then.
So Lewis, you had mentioned John Cena being a heel 22 years ago. The crazy thing about it is when he was a heel, he was a gimmick. He was the doctor of Thugonomics, coming out cutting those heel raps on people, and then eventually switching to babyface. This is the first time we're going to see a heel John Cena with this current C Nation leader.
Exactly, and we've never seen that. Gonna look like. We have never seen C Nation Super Cena heel. Like, what is that?
Is he going to wear all black? Is he going to start wearing those terrible suits? Like, what are we going to get?
The black jorts, not the blue ones.
It's all blackout. He's going to start wearing, like, remember the one The Rock used to wear the warm-up shit to the ring, like the sweats and shit to the ring? That's what he's going to turn into.
All right, quick question. Do you
go ahead.
I guess my only question at this point is, like, because of this, does it feel like CM Punk is kind of? I know he's going to be in Mania and involved in some shape before, but do you think this overshadows him and any chance of him becoming champion?
I'm going to say, go ahead, Daniel. Go ahead.
I think there's a chance that if it's not Roman that gets involved, that they're positioning CM Punk to be Cena's rival throughout this whole thing. Like CM Punk is going to be the rival to John Cena in his last run. They shook hands, they hugged in the ring, they fought each other respectably until the end. And of course, we weren't going to get into his promo on Raw, but I just feel like maybe they're positioning him to be that guy. Maybe after Seth or whatever happens with Seth, but I think they could position CM Punk to be that guy to win the title. So because he's not main eventing WrestleMania like we probably thought he was, especially when he came back.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is. I have this feeling with Punk, like I don't know. Maybe I don't think it's nostalgia, but I think it's just like I feel like with the him coming back and then you're kind of getting injured and all that stuff. I was like, oh, here we go, CM Punk, injury prone, old, whatever. But I feel like he's been so good up until this point. Is like, how do you not have him or even in a position where he might win the title, and it's like you just said, it's looking like he's not going to be involved in either title match. The only thing I'm seeing is he has the favor, but honestly that's kind of looking like more like a SummerSlam type thing. But I think you're right in terms of he could be a huge rivalry that leads to that to the end. And if Cena does win the title, I think if Punk is the one to take it off of him, that could be like a great ending. But is that too far down the line? A lot happens in a year. You guys are not.
I'm going to pencil.
So
I'm going to pencil in WrestleMania 42 that it's CM Punk versus John Cena. I'm just going to pencil it in because CM Punk, despite his recent comments where he said he doesn't necessarily need to do that at this stage, you came back for a reason. Like it's just
his
like you came back for a reason.
Has been crazy, and
well,
it's like
to be fair, he did kind of say. Remember how he said in his first promo back, "I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to make money." Yeah, so it might not necessarily be about necessarily main event in WrestleMania. It's just more about the fact that this is his last shot. Once AEW ended up the way it ended up, realistically, where else was he going to go? And
I just don't like it. That would be the ideal situation, right? Like Roman has already main evented the past couple of WrestleManias. Who else would you give that spot to? Like that's my thing. Like you have the perfect storyline. Like Punk and Cody can battle up until SummerSlam. Well, Cody and Cena can battle up until SummerSlam. End that part. Have CM Punk enter at that point. And then you can probably stretch that out into WrestleMania and figure it out. You got I just feel like CM Punk's on such a roll right now where, especially on the mic, when we're going to get into, especially later, but it's just like, I just feel like that's the right way to go. I feel like Orton's going to step in at some point and get a shot at Cena. Their history in their in 2009, how many times they switched the titles and went back and forth between each other. That's definitely got to happen. So I think Cody's going to lead it up. Maybe Randy gets involved from there, and then CM Punk leads it up until Cena's last match.
What if Punk uses his favor and goes after the world title, and that becomes a triple threat?
I don't think he should do that.
I don't think he should do that.
I feel like Jay should get that moment. Even if he loses, I feel like he should have that match with Gunther on that stage.
I don't know. The triple threat between those three kind of intrigues me for some reason.
As a match, it could definitely be very, very interesting. But as far as there's already the story that's going with Jay being the ultimate underdog and Gunther being this monster heel champion, I feel as though adding Punk to that kind of would obviously take away from that, and that's already a great story in of itself.
Yeah. That's going to hurt Jay in that. Because all that fire is going to be gone that Jay has been building for like the past year. So I do understand, because you want Punk in the title picture at Mania, but he's definitely going to be heading into a blood feud with Seth. That's definitely happening. That isn't.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, we've already had the Raw Netflix match. Now we're getting a cage match. It's like, who else is he going to? What other feud is even going to be like? Again, like, I mean, I guess I could also eat my words in terms of, like, obviously, because of what I said about the KO Sammy match, but that match was like amazing. Like, I was amazed by that match, and I was like, and look at this, it was literally just the end of feud. So I mean, hey, maybe for that, maybe.
I mean, WWE has been doing good things with these feuds. Like, we had Seth and Cody. We've had AJ and Cody. We've had Drew and CM Punk. We're starting to get Seth and CM Punk. They have done a good job with these type of blood feuds in this era so far. So that's definitely something to be intrigued by going forward. Like, yeah, they can do this for forever. Like, we saw Drew and CM Punk. We're like, we don't want this to end. Just keep fighting. Fuck it.
That match is probably one of the.
I still don't think that story is over with. I think they're definitely gonna. They need to.
Yeah, there's still meat on the bone there. You can go back to that. That can be a title match. That can be a number one contenders match. That can be a regular match on Raw. Netflix has been pumping out. But yeah, man, I'm just happy that for Cena it gives him a new space, right? Because there's literally a whole bunch of his side of him that we haven't seen. So to get a heel side from him, to team up with The Rock, kind of take that edge off of Rock from coming out and doing these promos that I haven't been the biggest fan of. Maybe having Cena out there talking and leading that charge can be in a better space. Travis Scott, and I know people are questioning why Travis Scott was out there and all this stuff, and I'm just like, the The only reason I think that Travis Scott is there is that they're going to film a rap video. They have to.
Either they're gonna film a rap video or Travis Scott is gonna be recording John Cena's new heel theme. One or the other.
Yeah, it has to happen. Something has to happen. It has to happen. Like that just writes itself. That just writes itself.
I don't know. I think I get it.
You don't want a 40+ Cena rapping, Lewis. Is that what you're saying? Are you age discriminating against John Cena? Is that what you're
discriminating against The Rock every week. So what are you talking about? That man is just cutting promos and you're shitting on him. You want a rapping John
This
Cena
is funny because now that just popped in my head. The Rock, John Cena, and Travis Scott on a rap song. The Rock does have rap experience.
That's not good experience though, bro. I heard that damn song. You heard his verse in that damn song. That shit was atrocious. No.
Whose song was that? That The Rock
Tech Nine.
It was Tech Nine. Yeah, let's just. Bro, I know for a fact Tech Nine wrote the lyrics. I mean, that wasn't Rock.
Oh man, that's got to happen. If WWE is going to go full into this heel thing, they've already recorded it and printed it. It's coming out. It should just happen. It's just go full into it. Make it as
you know what? If anything, just have Travis Scott make a song and just have them in it.
Nah, you got to have John Cena and The Rock on the track. You can't pass at this moment in history.
Let them do the ad libs. That's it.
Do your best Nate Dogg impression.
Yeah.
Oh man, but yeah, John Cena's heel now, man. We can't wait to see what happens when he comes back. Is he going to be on SmackDown?
He needs to be on SmackDown. Yeah. I was just about to say any promos anything he cuts, it has to be on SmackDown. SmackDown needs it more right now.
We saw the press conference where he just dropped the mic. He didn't have anything to say, so hopefully they're saving it for SmackDown.
Perfect. You don't need to say nothing. You already gave us enough. You don't need to say nothing until the promo. Perfect.
This is going to be fantastic. Whatever it is.
Plus, it will make more sense for him to be healed there anyway.
Yeah, they definitely do it. Like just do it like that on SmackDown. It doesn't need to be drawn out. Hopefully they can get a good promo out of that and get a little bit more backstory heading into WrestleMania. But this is definitely going to be a barn burner heading into WrestleMania with John Cena turning heel. Let's continue on here. Bianca Belair punches her ticket to Mania after she outlasts 5 other women in the Elimination Chamber. What do you guys make of this matchup and a surprising return at the beginning of this match? What do you guys make of Jade Cargill's return?
Okay, all right. So now since we're getting into the card, I just want to say from top to bottom, this was the best Elimination Chamber that WWE has ever produced. From top to bottom. Yeah, four matches. Less is more. In between, you had moments. I think the only thing that you can really nitpick about this show really is maybe the women's tag team match, but that's pretty much it. Everything else on this show was A+. And I actually think that the women's Elimination Chamber was actually better than the men's. I know a lot of people they may think differently, but from when Jade came back all the way to the end, it was just something about it. Like I don't know if it was just the pacing or like for instance, Liv Morgan, she had the match of her. She was the MVP of the match in my opinion. So I think she started it at number 2 from when Jade came out. Her facial expressions and everything and then you had obviously Jade attacking Naomi, which was. This was the best of Jade. Those gave me those.
Let me just say this: that is the best. That was the best ass kicking that we've seen in a while. She beat the brakes off of Naomi. She beat the brakes off
with the chamber door at the end. Like Jesus. Like no, that was just impressive. I mean, you talk about intensity, and all of that. When she came out, and then you got Bianca, her acting in the corner, which we're gonna get into it moving forward. But the match itself was a tremendous. One of the spots that I liked was at the very end between Liv and Bianca, where where Liv had Bianca's hair and she kept like kicking her into the cage, pulling her back, kicking her into the cage, pulling her back. And then when they were on top of the pod, and Bianca whipped the fuck out of her. like that was legit. Me and my wife were watching that, and I was just like, yeah, babe, you can't fake that. You gotta take that.
You just gotta take that hit. You just gotta take that one. You gotta
that one.
She earned her check that night.
Yeah, she earned her check that night, being the MVP of the match and all. But it was a great chamber match. You know, there were tremendous moments throughout. And then we all picked Bianca coming out on top. You know, this is great for her. You know, to get back into the singles top championship. You know, her being so conflicted. Like I said, we're gonna get into it, moving forward, because obviously there's gonna be there's speculation right now with Jade and Naomi. Like, did Naomi do it? Did Naomi not do it? Or did they do it together? And you go on Twitter, some people like zooming in onto Naomi's reaction when Jade came out, looking back at Bianca, and like little things like people trying to break it down. It's gonna be definitely very interesting moving forward. I know we'll get into Rhea and Io and how Bianca factors into all that later, but great for Bianca to finally be a single star again.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely thought the women's chamber match was a lot better, at least more like spots and highlights and stuff. And I think the story wise with how it started off was great. It was great to see Bianca win. Obviously, she needs to be in that as a single star. Like, I'm not saying that she's great as a tag team, but like she's a main eventer and she's a top one of the top females. And getting her away from the tag titles, I think was the right move. Definitely adds layers. I don't know. I think I still kind of wanted to heel Bianca, and I kind of wanted her to maybe be the one who took out Jade. But again, we still don't know where they're gonna go with the story. Is it really Naomi? Does Jade think it's Naomi? Who the hell? I'm really curious to see how this is gonna play out, and if it's even gonna affect Bianca's match as well. Or is it just gonna be another match that's just gonna feud into Mania and it'll end there? So, but definitely great spots. Again, Liv looking 10 times better and better. Doing whatever she can, to she's one of the females that like probably sells the best right now. And I think she's just putting, elevating herself up even more and more. Like I wouldn't even, not saying that I want it, but I feel like she's also somebody that you put the title on, whenever I guess you need to,
I mean, I thought the chamber match was great. Obviously the beatdown in the beginning, Jade coming back looking fierce, awesome. Of course, Brian was talking about the breakdowns of Naomi and Bianca's reaction, like Bianca taking off her coat, Naomi looking back like, oh shit, what's going on? Liv Morgan playing it up like it wasn't me until right up until Jade forearmed Naomi into the corner.
Just as I like how Liv like covered up right with Jade. That was hilarious.
And as Brian said, Liv was probably the MVP of the match. I'm thinking about her chamber match when she returned last year, and how fantastic she was with that. And I was like, she definitely improved in the ring. But now it's just her acting has gotten better into the match and stuff like that, and her ring work has gotten better. She was fantastic. I liked Roxanne Perez in the match. I thought that was a good option to put in there. Alexa Bliss making her big time return there in a match of that caliber was awesome as well. All those ladies got their things in. Bianca, obviously, we all picked her to win. I just thought it was a great setup for Mania. Like, you got to put Bianca in that match, going up against Rhea, supposedly. Heading into that, I thought it was just the right choice. Definitely a better flow, I think, in that match. Just everyone getting their stuff in. No wasted motion. Liv Morgan, she definitely got her ass kicked in that match, because I remember Bianca banging her head off the chamber, hitting her with the hair whip. A lot of spots there. But Naomi getting taken out, we're going to see what happens with that on SmackDown. Hopefully we can get some more answers with that. But yeah, I thought it was a great match. Bianca picking up the win there. All the women involved looking awesome. Naomi for whatever time she was in there. Put up a good showing, getting her ass beat. But we'll see what happens, because there's a lot of things to fill out. Bianca and Bailey. I mean, Bailey and Roxanne Perez are still going to have their little feud. Apparently, they went after each other. So definitely going to see what happens with this one. But Bianca moving on to WrestleMania. Can't wait to see what happens with that. Let's get into a banger. KO takes out Sami Zayn, but Randy Orton returns. What do you guys make of this unsanctioned match? To the death, Lewis. What did we tell you? To the death, Lewis. That is what this match showed.
And I believe I was the one to predict that Randy Orton was going to come, that KO was going to try to do some wild shit on Sami Zayn, and then Randy Orton was going to come back and save him. Like
I didn't predict Randy coming back at all. I honestly kind of forgot about Randy.
It was time. Right before WrestleMania, he got taken out months ago. It's just like, this is the time. Yeah, Randy Orton had to come back at this moment.
Yeah, but I mean, that match was amazing. I thought all the spots in the match were great. I think the ending was a little anticlimactic, but I think definitely with Randy coming back added like a huge element. And I even saw a thing, and I even noticed it too, that when Randy came back, you see KO get like super emotional and shit. He's like, because he even said it himself, he's like, I loved Randy. It was different. I loved Randy with everything we did and everything. And but that match between those two guys was, to me, that's a 5-star match. That's a 5-star match because
they've done that match 50 times in ROH and on the Indies.
Yeah, but I think the storytelling in it was just like the wrestling psychology with every spot and everything. The chair shots, the table spots, the bringing out the barbed wire chair, which I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was gonna be like a whole hint at like Karrion Kross putting that there, because they were like, who put that there? Karrion did. But they never really hinted at it. But I thought those spots with the chairs were great. Obviously not to KO, obviously doing that damn pop-up powerbomb on the side apron, which was the first thing that he did to Sami when he won the title in NXT. Which I remember watching that, because I think this one I was really starting to get back into wrestling was through NXT. And I was like, these guys are great. And then watching Sami Zayn, and he was like the underdog and everything. And then KO was just coming back that NXT paper takeover or whatever. And he just came out and did that powerbomb. And I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he had debuted at that show. Yeah.
Yep, and he had the busted nose and everything from Juice Robinson.
DJ Parker.
I remember it so vividly, and I was like, "This is great storytelling,"
But
oh man, Lewis said it perfectly, especially with the power bomb spot on the apron. I think I know why, because I definitely feel the same way you do as far as the match feeling anticlimactic at the end. I think it felt that way because I think like the end didn't go the way it was supposed to. Because remember, he powerbombed him once, then he was supposed to powerbomb him a second time, and then like they slipped, and then he slipped out of his hands, and then like Sami starts fighting back to try to cover up for it, and then he slammed him again, and then he pinned him. So I think that's why why it came off that way. But this was a tremendous match. I mean, you definitely saw the chemistry between both guys, all the spots, the steel chair, which I read a report apparently wasn't gimmicked at all, per the request of both KO and Sami Zayn, because they really wanted to show how far they were going to go in this match. They really wanted to put on a show for their fellow fans in Canada. Fellow Canucks. That's what I want to say. But this was a tremendous match, and like I said, the finish with the powerbomb on the apron, is just so symbolic from those days in NXT, and I love the fact that they went back to that. All the like when KO was hitting the that little fisherman driver. How many times did he hit that shit? It feels like he did that shit like 3 or 4 times. One time he did it standing up, did it on the chair to Sami. Then another time he did it from the top rope, and it's just like Jesus Christ, man!
I love that move, by the way. I love that.
And I loved how when the second ref came out and counted to 2,
Close
and then
lines
KO
in.
said, "It's unsanctioned. Fuck it." And then went
Somebody's getting their ass kicked, damn
yeah,
it.
someone's gonna ask me. Yeah, but this was just a tremendous match. Really, just showing the chemistry between both guys. I think they said Sammy is out. Sammy is out indefinitely now, storyline wise. So I don't know how he's gonna factor into WrestleMania. But I was going into the whole Randy Orton return. I mean, Randy Orton coming back is always a positive no matter what the circumstances are. And Randy Orton is so smooth that like he could literally just do like one little motion, and you already know what's coming. Like literally, like, I think like he grabbed like his knee pad, and then like everybody in the arena knew like, oh yeah, this is what he's gonna do. Then he took them some symbolic walk backwards.
I mean, we haven't seen that in so long.
Yeah. What pissed me off was the fucking security, because psychologically, security doesn't stop Kevin Owens from going back and trying to kill Sami Zayn, but the security will stop Randy Orton from trying to take out Kevin Owens. Like, I thought that was just like so ass backwards. It's just like, yo, you should just let him do it. But other than that, this was a great match. This was a show stealer.
No, it was definitely a great match. And definitely, again, with these shorter cards, they had time. I think that's the most important thing. They had time to get their stuff in and do what they needed to do. Use the range of the arena, fighting out into the crowd, coming back in, using various weapons. Usually, I don't like all the chair spots where they bring in all the chairs and stuff like that. But bringing in the barbed wire steel chair, I always think about Cactus Jack when that comes in with the barbed wire and stuff like that. The drop toe hold into the barbed wire. I'm sitting there like, how is Kevin Owens' face not shredded on that move? Because he didn't move. He didn't brace himself or anything like that. He went straight into that chair shot. So kudos to those guys. There's always going to be a banger between those guys, and especially when they have this range of no holds bar, unsanctioned match where they can do everything that they did on the indies kind of was just awesome. So to get that type of match out of these two guys, Kevin Owens looking vicious as always. I feel like Kevin Owens wins a lot of these matches that he doesn't. I mean, he lost to Cody Rhodes at the Royal Rumble, but it's like that was hellacious as always.
Yeah.
But anytime he goes up against Sami Zayn, it's like Sami Zayn's just going to get his ass kicked in this match. And to get that type of match from those two guys, kudos to both those guys. Love those guys always. And Sami Zayn continues to be a loser. So there's that. I don't want to kick a man when he's down, but
you are.
You just can't beat Kevin Owens, man, for whatever reason. As for Randy Orton, Randy Orton,
not a true situation.
As for Randy Orton's return, there, it's always awesome to see Randy in that light coming back. And setting up the feud for Mania. Obviously, Kevin Owens and Randy Orton had that match where Randy Orton couldn't continue. So to get Randy Orton back and then get this version of Randy heading into WrestleMania, not a bad thing.
They need to let Randy just pump people. They need to bring it back. Just let them do
I
it.
think that's what they're doing. I think we're in a different era, especially when you got guys like Travis Scott smoking weed and blood being back on TV. I think we're in a different time period in wrestling where this happens.
Yeah. Right.
I think we're getting back to that era where things are going to get a little bit more edgier in the world of WWE, just because the investment, the demographic changing. We're definitely in a different time. So we're going to get that pun at some point. I'm
going to say my life goal is to look as good as how Randy looks at his age. That's the goal. He is jacked with a six-pack, fucking diesel.
Gotta look for his workout.
I need whatever workout he's doing. I need it.
Yeah. That's impressive.
Nah, and him, AJ Styles coming back how they came back. It's just like, what are you guys doing? What are you guys doing? But it's always good to see Randy coming back, and KO and him are going to have a hellacious match at WrestleMania. Can't wait to see it. Let's get into the lady of the night. It's Tiffy and Trish time in Toronto as they defeat Nia Jax and Candice LeRae. What do you guys make of this matchup and Trisha's in-ring return in her home country?
We all knew it. Next.
No. Did I lose? That's how I think that's how this topic should go. Because literally, you knew. Cause we all said that Trish was come out. This is what it was about. Trish and they had even said that this was her 25 year anniversary of her debut. I think they said that the last time that she had performed in that arena was at WrestleMania 18. Yes. Today I mentioned that on commentary. So yeah, this whole match was all about. Yeah, it was all about.
We all picked. Yeah, we all picked. Trish Stratus and Tiffany Stratton.
Yeah, it was all about Trish with the whole Tiffany Stratton and Nia Jax feud in the backdrop. And I'm glad that Tiffany Stratton got the pin on Nia here. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I definitely do think there is going to be one more one-on-one match on the road to WrestleMania where we should get some final clarity for this that Tiffany comes out on top. But as far as this match goes, it was simple, straightforward. Trish came out on top. But one more thing I wanted to bring up as far as Tiffany Stratton goes, and Daniel, you brought this up last week, and I'm starting to see it now myself. Tiffany Stratton is a heel, man. I'm sorry. Her whole demeanor just screams heel, and you can even watch on SmackDown this past Friday
again.
Segment. She's a heel. She is a heel. Even when she's trying to just comes off
again. Nothing has changed about her character to make her a babyface. There wasn't enough runtime with her and Nia.
She is a heel. I'm sorry.
Because she took it off of Nia, who was the bigger heel.
But she's still a heel. She's still a heel.
It doesn't matter.
She's a heel by circumstance. I mean, she's a babyface right now by circumstance because Nia Jax is such a monster.
Exactly. And then obviously you got Charlotte going after her and being all cocky and everything. Like,
you want to know what?
Has to be the babyface.
Exactly. No.
You want to know what? I'm siding with Charlotte in this one. I'm sorry. Tiffany Stratton hasn't done enough to be a babyface. She took it off Nia. So what? She was with Nia for what? A month?
Get the hell out of here.
No. See, if she's going to continue to be a babyface, then now she's going to find herself in these situations where the feuds are only going to be good just based upon who the heel opponent is. If the opponent that she has is a very good heel, that's going to determine how good the feud is. But if the opponent is kind of like a tweener that's getting kind of like a babyface reaction from the crowd, the feud might not be as good, because when you think about it, do people cheer Tiffany Stratton because of her in-ring ability or how she looks, or do they cheer her because they don't like whoever she's up against worse? Like, you have to ask those questions. Now, some of the stuff that you notice, like in the match, like, I don't know if you guys saw it. You guys remember at the very end? And I don't know if Tiffany did this on purpose or not, but before she did her move, she was trying to kick Candice out of the ring, and she ended up kicking Trish Stratus instead. She was kicking her off the apron so she can get out the way for the spot.
Oh yeah, I think that's what it was. And Trish was just on the apron, like, do what you're doing.
Yes.
Tiffany's like, no, like, move. So I mean, she's a heel. I mean, I just don't think there's enough character development. They put the title on her, and I understand why they did it, but I feel like the Money in the Bank, I just don't like the way they do it. And I understand why they do it, but it's just like, nah.
It could be a feeler title reign. We'll see.
Yeah, I feel like that's what they do in the short term. Let's see what happens when we do put the title in the reaction and see how she performs and stuff like that. They kind of did that with Liv Morgan, so I think I can understand it. But it's just like, I think it hurts the person who cashes in. But she is a heel. She is a heel. But Trish had a good showing. She had some moments in the ring. Nia was great. Candice was solid in there. So kudos to those women. Ending out Elimination Chamber review. Let's get into a hell of a Raw after the Elimination Chamber took place. Opening hot with CM Punk in a passionate promo against the Machine, against Cena, against Seth, against The Rock. What do you guys make of that and his apparent opening back up the feud with Seth Rollins after Seth Rollins arguably cost him the Elimination Chamber?
The passion. So,
was the meme there? Cinnamon?
I don't know how CM Punk does it. It's like this man is always ready to say whatever the hell he needs to say, and it's just like it comes off so, I don't know, so real and easy for him that it's just like, and even with just like insulting John Cena and The Rock, and it's like the thing he says, "You bald phony bastard," whatever the hell he says. Yeah, fraud. It's still like impactful. Again, I'm kind of at this point like, what else are we gonna get out of this damn him and Rollins feud? I think for me it's going on a little too long, but I don't know.
I feel like we haven't gotten enough.
They're very good at trading shots with each other, like promo wise, but it's like, what are we getting of him just beating Seth again? Is it just to beat him down to be like, oh, you're still little brother, but
as I said, I think the way they're going to do this is Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch are going to team up and be heels, and CM Punk and AJ Lee are going to have a match. They're going to have a tag team match.
If she didn't come back for the Rumble, what makes you think she's going to come back just for WrestleMania?
She's not there long term. I think that's what it is. Yeah. I really think that's got to happen. It's got to happen. Why not? Why shouldn't that happen? If they're going to stretch this out, get the family involved.
Now, I am a little skeptical about that, and maybe I shouldn't be because last time Seth and Becky were together, it came off very poorly. But granted, it was the old administration, but them together the last time left a bad taste in my mouth so much I never wanted to see them together ever again. But this is a new administration, so that is the positive that would come.
Another dynamic is they can be heels. That's the dynamic that they didn't get. They can be heels. So I think that's a way that they can really do this and get their nails into it and really be heels. And I think that's something that they can definitely play on. But as for Seth and CM Punk, the promo of Punk just going out there again, calling The Rock a bald-headed fraud, saying to Cena, hey, you gave up on yourself, you gave up on these people, you gave up on these kids. He speaks how the audience should feel, right? Because sometimes the fans in wrestling need to be directed. He gives them their direction every single time he speaks. So CM Punk, kudos to do that. One of the best on the mic, understanding the audience, understanding the room, understanding the moment to say, hey, Cena's supposed to be this guy who's a stand-up guy. I shook your hand. You're supposed to be a superhero to all these kids, and you turned your back on them. So to push that over the edge, for him to understand that, kudos to him for that passionate promo. Him and Seth going at it. I just want that just to happen. And again, I just want this to trickle into Becky Lynch returning and being a heel, and AJ Lee coming back to defend her man. And there's a tag team match. I feel like that's the way it has to go.
Okay, all right. So you would rather have Becky and AJ get involved than have Roman Reigns come back?
Wait, what about Roman Reigns?
Because that's where I'm predicting that this steel cage match is going to go this coming Monday Night Raw. I don't even think there's going to be a winner. I just think Roman is going to come out and take out both of them.
I mean, he has more of a reason to go after Seth, obviously, for giving him that stomp,
Yeah, but he has a reason to go after Punk. I think wasn't Punk the one that eliminated him out of the Rumble, or eliminated both him and Seth? Or
yeah.
Oh yeah, it was yeah.
But I'm not mad at that either. If it goes to a triple threat at Mania, I'm fine with that. I said this a while too. I feel like there should be a triple threat for the number one contendership on the line.
Exactly what I was about to
That's
say.
what should happen at WrestleMania.
As long as you throw that stipulation in there, fine. But don't just have.
What do you think I am? The old regime? I want steaks, damn it!
And then just having a triple threat just because it's a bitter feud. It's just like no. There has to be something involved, something that you're fighting for. Besides the fact that you guys all screwed each other at one point or whatever.
Yeah, so, absolutely. Yeah. I think there's a multitude of ways to go, but I feel like a number one contendership triple threat match would be awesome between those guys at WrestleMania.
Yeah, for sure.
Like that's a big enough match. That's a big enough stakes on the line to get those guys involved in that type of matchup. But again, always great work by promo by CM Punk. Awesome intensity from Seth Rollins, and we'll see what happens because they're supposed to be in a steel cage match next week on Raw in Madison Square Garden. So that's definitely going to be a banger. We'll see what happens with that. Let's keep moving on here. We had Gunther defeating Otis in a high intensity match. Great showing from Otis. Kind of a comedy guy, right? Who always seen as a comedy guy and never really taken seriously. But he gets in these matches. Maybe it's just wrestling with Gunther. But these guys going at it and wrestling like that, just impressive. Of course, Gunther tries to beat up Otis after the match. Jay makes the save, obviously playing on their feud heading into WrestleMania. But what do you guys make of that match between Gunther and Otis?
Great match.
Yeah, no, it was a good match. But I actually think that the reactions that Otis gets Otis is a sympathetic character. He can be that comedy, funny, chubby guy. But then when you remember his heavy machinery days and that being a part of that tag team, he can't get serious. But
he's just the easy guy to get behind as a baby. Like he knows how to play that up. So definitely entertaining.
Otis. I still every time I think about him, I still be thinking about how heavy machinery didn't really get the run that they should have gotten, even though he kind of was the heart and soul of that team. But still, I still feel as though that there's so much untapped potential with Otis, even still to this day, that I feel like they can still tap into. Granted, I know he kind of got his moment during the pandemic, which really doesn't say as much with him winning Money in the Bank. Didn't even get a chance to cash in. But like I said, he's a sympathetic character. He's easy to get behind.
You want to know what? I'm mad about that now that you bring that up. And especially during that time, during the pandemic, when they were just doing anything, he should have gotten a chance. He should have gotten a chance. During the pandemic, if there was any time to test the water with Otis and see him in that type of caliber matches, even all the way back then, it should have been right there. It should have been right there.
You had no crowd, so you could pretty much do whatever you do. You should have been able to use that time to try things with other guys. They did with Apollo Crews, though. They did try with him, being the Nigerian gimmick. Then when the crowd came back, nobody cared about Apollo anymore.
In some twisted way, that could have worked, but no. We had Lyra Valkyria defeating Ivy Nile in the women's Intercontinental match. It was a solid match. It was okay. It wasn't anything special in terms of everything going on. What else did we have? We had the World Tag Team Champions, the War Raiders, defeating the Creed Brothers. Of course, that seems to be the tag team match building up to that. What happened with Penta? I forgot what happened with Penta.
Oh, so Ludwig Kaiser came out and they cut a promo about essentially why he has issues with Penta, just more along the lines of because Penta is like the flavor of the month and people are forgetting about him. And then Penta pretty much came out and they brawled for a little bit.
Okay. He's in that triple three-way. Of course, Braun Breaker laying waste to Dominic Mysterio, bringing out the Judgment Day, basically setting up Finn Balor and Braun Breaker next week. What do you guys make of that matchup?
I mean, what was it? Essentially, it's what Braun Breaker versus Judgment Day right now.
Basically,
right?
And it's weird. What is Braun Breaker? Is he a heel? Is he babyface? Is he a tweener?
I thought it was clear heel.
After he regained the Intercontinental title from Jay, I just said, he's just a tween. He's just a tweener, because even during that match, when he came out for his entrance, crowd was barking and So I just think
again, I'm going to say it again. Why did they change his song? Why?
It's not terrible.
Why? They've been messing. No, they've used like 4 or 5 different themes.
Yeah, he has a whole bunch of different songs.
Pick one. What the fuck?
Just use the one in NXT with the siren. It was dope. That's all we need. We don't need any all these changes. Whatever you're doing with them.
Honestly, Daniel, the siren is in every theme song.
The good one that was in NXT. The good one that was in NXT.
It's gonna be in every song.
But let's get into the main event of the night with WrestleMania implications. Io Sky facing Rhea Ripley for the World Women's Championship with Bianca Belair at ringside. What do you guys make of this matchup in Io Sky walking away as the new champion?
No, nobody saw that coming. I don't
No.
think
Banger
anybody that said
after
Io had
banger.
Io winning is lying that ass off because nobody had that coming. If anything, people were thinking Schmaz finish or a no contest finish somehow.
And that's where I thought it was going to end up. That's where I thought it was going to end up, especially towards the end of the match. But it didn't.
But Io, but the match itself was very good. I mean, Io is just on a whole another level, because you see, because you sometimes with Io, you forget about like everything that she's done, and sometimes you even have to think like, when she initially signed, that was a big deal.
Yeah.
She was a part of that whole class of like Japanese female wrestlers that they signed that with her, Asuka, Kairi Sane, all these women that they brought over, where you started taking the women's division initially a little bit more seriously when they initially came over. So you forget about how great Io is and all her moments and great matches, and she's a top female, and it was a great match. She definitely deserve to be in the main event. Definitely love this little surprise. I don't know if you guys saw the promo that Rhea Ripley cut after the match. I think it was on. Afterwards. That was beautifully done when she expressed all the regret and everything. And then like she had tweeted out that like, oh, it's Bianca's fault because Bianca's over here. It's supposed to be cheering for both of us, but yeah, she's cheering for Io, and it threw me off. It distracted me. So it definitely looks like they definitely.
Why did that distract you? You're Rhea Ripley. Win the match. Why did that?
Not like meant to be a distraction.
That's where I played in my head. Is Rhea Ripley going to turn heel? Because why did you get upset at her? Why?
Is Rhea Ripley going to turn heel, or are we slowly starting to see finally Bianca slowly turn to the dark side? And
how is Bianca turning to the dark side in that situation?
I mean, what did she get? I mean, think about it. I mean, she's getting. I mean, she really did get involved. I mean, who initially started the interaction? Was it Bianca cheering, or did Rhea just see her and just?
Yeah, Bianca was cheering for Io to get back in the ring, and Rhea went up to her and pushed her, and started it. Rhea Ripley started that.
That's why Bianca. That's why there was no DQ.
I thought there could have been a DQ. I thought that's where it was going to go, but the referee was like, "No, this is not how it was going to end." Which kind of a nice touch from the referee in this climate. It's like not throw out the match.
No. Moving forward, they need to adopt that mindset for the officials. Yeah, have them have a little bit more. Give the rest a little bit more leeway. I mean, that's a women's title match. Don't let a little push and then cause a disqualification.
Yeah. It wasn't like a punch or a kick or something like that. So, I thought this match was great. It was a little slow in the beginning, but then it picked up and got. I was like, this match is going to be great. Io doesn't disappoint. It reminds me of the NXT days.
Yeah.
I thought it was great with Io just fighting and finding a way to win. But I wanted to find this one. It says Io Sky is still undefeated against Rhea Ripley. She's officially a Grand Slam champion in WWE with that win. The first ever to achieve a Grand Slam in both America and Japan. And it's like the post says she's one of the best wrestlers. She's the best wrestler in the world. And there's been little pockets of that, of talking of how great Io Sky is. And she's definitely inserted herself into that conversation again. So kudos to her for putting on a tremendous display of wrestling. She's great, and I hope this leads to a triple threat match at Mania between these three women. I wanted Rhea and Bianca because I felt like that was a money match that you can't miss. But Io has definitely inserted herself into the conversation. I definitely would love to see a triple threat match between those three. And we definitely got that. It kind of reminds me of the triple threat that we got at last year Summerslam with Charlotte, Asuka.
Yeah, no, exactly. It was the same two other women, just with the exception of Charlotte. Now just swap that out with Rhea, and that triple threat match was a very good match. So they have the chemistry. So now you have Rhea Ripley in there, so that's going to be a banger.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens, man. But heading into WrestleMania, definitely interesting to see what's going to happen. Especially again, SmackDown. I'm hoping John Cena makes an appearance. I hope Rock does one of his Instagram posts to say that we're going to be there on SmackDown. So hopefully we see that soon. And hopefully we get some words from heel John Cena, man. Like we're definitely on the road to WrestleMania now. This is a different climate we're going to be in, man. I'm excited. I'm excited.
Definitely. Triple H said at the press conference, now you feel like we're on the road to WrestleMania. Like so Triple H, he sees all this shit, bro. He sees all this stuff on social media. People bitching and complaining about how the booking is and everything. Like, he sees all this stuff and he just be like, all right, watch. Okay.
This is, and then kudos, I'm gonna say, because I've been a little hard on Triple H over the past couple of weeks, especially with like the booking of women and the tag team division and stuff like that. The ability to know and just be aware of what the hell is going on outside of WWE, especially in socials and stuff like that, and pay attention to that and not ignore the fans. Not simply just ignore the fans, actually giving us what we want, actually saying, hey guys, hold on, something's coming, like actually adapting to the circumstances and not just falling into the same, this is how we do it, this is what we do, this is what it is, and shitting the bed. This is entering into a different element where he's responding to what's actually going on, the reactions, and it feels like a little bit more of a feel for the fan base and what we want. So kudos to him in that regard.
Honestly, I don't understand why any of us even didn't give him the benefit of the doubt from the very beginning. I mean, realistically, with the success that he had with NXT back in the day, putting it on the map. Realistically, after that, Triple H should always be given the benefit of the doubt in these situations. And like I said, the man has a track record. He's been both a wrestler, being one of the top heels of all time. He after he stepped away from the ring, he's had that time, sitting on the Vince McMahon's wing and trying to learn about creative and everything. And he's been pretty much doing this his entire life. So if it's about wrestling and knowledge and psychology, I mean Triple H is the go-to, even though we all hated him as a heel character back in the day, but creator Triple H is that guy.
No question. No argument from me. No argument. But that will do it for this episode of Ring Takes, episode 95. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to always kick out on 2. Keep fighting. And until next time, guys.